we see the relationship between human society and environment. In the previous class, we have discussed the various types of forests. Now, here we are going to study human society and environment. You know that it is from the beginning when we people arrived on the earth. From then onwards, our interaction with the environment started. In the process of our interaction with the environment, we changed the environment a lot. For example, in our human history, that means the story of our human history says we began our life as hunters and gatherers. So then, hunters and gatherers used tools which made of wood and stone, and such tools they used to hunt animals and to gather tubers and fruits. That was the first altar of human beings to the environment. Later, in the process of changing the environment, we discovered the first source of energy, that is fire, by lightening sticks and grass. That was the first source of energy. Instant. Which one? First source of energy. Instant. Then onwards, our interaction increased very much with the environment to alter it and to create an environment which could be suitable to our needs. We began altering the environment, that means changing the environment surrounding us to satisfy our needs. In that process, we began building the knowledge of the environment, which is an essential part of the human beings, because our survival is connected with the environment. So, how much we know the environment, that much there will be development of the human beings. So, here the interaction between human beings and environment increased till today, and it is going on. When we began to practice agriculture and animal husbandry, earlier, that is, early mans were hunters and gatherers. When they practiced agriculture, there was a lot of changes in their lives. They removed the forest cover, that is the tree cover, converted those lands into agriculture lands. That is a very large alteration to the environment. Later, they started building cities by converting the tree cover lands into the cities. All these are human activities in altering the environment and their surroundings. Earlier, the early men used tools made up of the wood, bronze, and then after iron. And people started building tanks to store water and to provide stored water for fields. Rivers also they diverted to the agriculture fields. Dams are constructed across the rivers and streams to get the water. These all are the changes, alters to the environment. The natural environment is altered by human beings to suit to their needs. We have started building the roads which connected distant places. There is a good network of roads now, and we sail in ships and boats across the seas and oceans, and well established communication, trade relations across the seas and oceans, except the Antarctic continent. And we see that here there is a lot of change in human societies. If you take the story of humans, the story of human beings on a scale, it would be interesting. It is estimated that there was 40 lakh people in the world around 10,000 BC, and such a population of 40 lakh gradually increased by altering the environment. By 1750, world population has reached by 50 crores, and by 1800 it reached 100 crores. By 2010 it is 700 crores, and it is estimated that by 2100 it may reach 1000 crores. So the population day by day, year by year increasing as we are changing the environment to meet our needs. In 10,000 BC, it was a 40 lakh population, but today it is more than 700 crores. When the population was 40 lakh, when the population was 40 lakhs in 10,000 BC, we people lived on the earth. When this when this time the population is more than 700 crores, also adjusting to the same earth. The shape of the earth and the size of the earth is constant, upon which the land mass and water mass, that is water bodies, also fixed. But today we see that the land mass, that is the land body, is decreasing due to our activities which have created many alters to the environment. In coming days we see there will be much more population. So as the population increases, then the needs of the people also increases. That is food, shelter, right? Then what you call cloth and other things which are needed to the people also increases along with increased population, and this increased population have to adjust to the same earth. So when population increases, there would be great pressure on the earth and also its resources. Earth is a storehouse of resources. It gives many valuable resources for us to meet our needs. So when population increases, then increased population how to adjust to the limited resources on the earth. In such a way, we find there is a great pressure and there would be competition among the people in using the resources. So in this process of altering the surface of the earth, we have given great pressure to the earth. Especially we see when industrialization started and the process of colonization started, that increased a great push and pressure to our environment. Industrial revolution have created some lakhs of industries across the world and which changed the what world to suffer with many kinds of pollutions. Industrial revolution created the industrial products which need raw materials, and in search of the raw materials, industrial nations began to occupy the places to get the raw material for their industrial product. So industrial revolution has given way for colonization. Colonization in the sense establishing political authority by one country in another part of the world. And why did they establish colonization? They need raw material for their industrial products. Nations which have industries, they were top in the development and they were establishing domination on the rest of the world. So many industrial nations, they need of raw material, right? So in search of the raw material, they have gone across the world. They explored the world instead to find out raw material. And this kind of exploration by the different countries created curiosity among the people to dig deep wells and try to find out what is underground the earth, that is to find out the minerals. With that, it has not ended their attention. That means our attention turned towards the space which is above the atmosphere. Soon, we people started a systematic mining, cutting the forest, building of the factories, and building of the roads took place all over the world. Many nations have begun in this process exploiting the other countries which were weaker. So nations have begun to wage war on each other to gain control on the resources which were available in the distant countries. So in this process of altering the environment, we have created a great impact on the air, water, and land around us. With the industrial revolution, many industries sprang up around the world like mushrooms. and these industries let out their pollutants into the air. So air pollution started. Many industries dumped their pollutants into the water. So water is polluted, and such pollutants also dumped into the land. So soil is polluted. In this way, we see that human industrial activities had a great impact on our surroundings, that is environment, in relation to the air, water, and land. What I'm saying, the industries created a lot of pollution on earth by our activities. Understand? So modern industries and transport system which use energy which comes from the coal and petroleum. Coal and petroleum are the fossil fuels which comes from the remains of a forest when certain trees and their leaves are buried underground the earth for lakhs of years. It turns to fuel, that is called fossil fuel, from which what to call energy is generated. That coal and petroleum comes from it. So coal and petroleum is called fossil fuels. So when we burning these fossil fuels, there is a large quantity of carbon dioxide and other chemical gases which are nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, and other organic components, and some other heavy metals, sulfuric acid, nitric acid. All these are joining with the atmosphere, so that atmosphere is polluted, and that is leading to the acid rains. What is meant by acid rains? That is, their acid particles, they join with the rain, and that is called acid rains. So here industries, that is especially modern industries, are very powerful in generating the pollution. So large quantities of carbon dioxide is generated, emitted out by the vehicles and industries. So there are many industries letting out pollutants, effluents into the air, water, and to the land. And there is enormous waste material also, a large quantity of waste material also dumped by the industries. It may be in the form of a solid, liquid, or in the form of gases, and that is contaminating the air, water, right? So there is a great impact of this pollution on our environment. One important impact of this pollution is climate change, that what we call global warming, which you have which you will read in the ninth class biology science textbook, my dear students. So in the recent times, we see that world nations have recognized that global warming is going very rapidly. So to check out, that means to arrest this pollutants and effluents which are coming out of the industries and vehicles, one conference was conducted in the month of December 1997 at Kyoto. It is a city in Japan, and this Kyoto Protocol was conducted by United Nations Organization at Kyoto in Japan. There, the countries attending this conference, they signed a declaration called Kyoto Protocol, and that declaration says to bring down the greenhouse gases less than 5.2 percentage by 2012. So this declaration was signed by the many nations across the world at the Kyoto Protocol, and that the declaration they decided to achieve by 2008 to 2012, but it has not achieved. It failed. Recently, in Paris Peace Conference also conducted on climate change, that is also failed because there is no proper solution and agreement between two group of countries called developed countries and developing countries. So in this way, the pollution going on across the world and creating many environmental crises, very important and a dangerous one, that is the climate change, what we call global warming is going on. And another important issue connected with this exploration, enormous what you call using of the resources, that is declining what you call the resources, industrialization and the overpopulation, urbanization, these things given great pressure on the resources. Resources were very less, they were in a limited one, and there is a great pressure on the limited resources, that is minerals, forest, soil, water, air, understand? And all these are the source of energy, that is coal and petroleum stored under the earth for billions of years is a limited one. And this growth of population, industrialization has led to the decline in the forest cover, that resulted deforestation, and due to the over extraction of the minerals, then the minerals, oil and groundwater also coming to depletion. Many scientists have argued that in the same manner, if we go, that is exploiting the resource in the same manner in unprecedented way and neglecting it, that would create a problem to the sustainability. In the long run, we would not see sustainability of the life if we go on using the same manner of the what you call resources. In future, there will be nothing left for our children and grandchildren who comes in the future, that is called progeny, understand? The offsprings, the future people may not get all these resources as we are using in unprecedented way. So there would be a problem of sustainability, understand? So all the living beings on the earth depend on the environment. We get everything from the environment, understand? Right? And we have to live according to the environment. If we damage the environment, ultimately it damages us. It is like sitting on a branch, cutting that branch so that the woodcutter fell from that branch. Instead, we need to understand that earth is our home, motherland. Instead, we need to take care of the earth. We need to protect the environment. Understand? Our survival is connected with the survival of and protection of the environment, understand? So this is the new idea in a recent time the world has developed, understand? Right? Human beings are destroying this nature in an unprecedented way. our commercial activities are increasing much more, understand, so that we are polluting it, understand. So in the recent time, it is stated by many people, and many countries realize that there our life is in protecting the water environment, understand. If we do not care the environment, there will be destruction to us. And we see already it started. Many animals are not appearing on the earth, right? When a little rainfall takes place, we would have seen many frogs on the earth. Today frogs are not appearing, right? The vultures, which are in the list of extinction, so many species are falling in the list of extinction. So it is creating a disturbance to the food chain. You know that what happens if one specific particular form of a what to call animal or species is disturbed from the food chain, it would create a impact on entire food chain. That means ultimately it comes to us, understand. So we need to protect the water environment, understand.